everybody, it's time for another Flipping Tables, and today we have a Kickstarter preview of a game that's hit Kickstarter on January 19th, 2021, and it is Bunny Party at Maple Valley. This is a fun, very quick family game. It's probably the perfect kind of game you'd want to take to a cottage or just pull out when it's a
road
quick
trip.
family night.
3 to 4 players.
3 to 4 bunnies.
3 to 4 bunnies.
Come on now. It's Bunny Party.
Yes.
So you are bunnies. Takes about 20 minutes. It's for ages 8 and up. It is a really great family game. This isn't, if we're being honest, this isn't like a hardcore game that you're going to pull out, when you want to bring out the big games for your gamer friends and stuff. But this is a great family game to take on the road, as you said.
I would say that this is a great road trip.
Yeah, it really
cottage.
is. And it's a nice small travel box. It's perfect travel size.
Short game too, just over 20 minutes.
Yeah, and it really is a 20-minute game. So let's have a look at the components. Here we can see the main components of the game. It is a card game solely. There's nothing else but cards in here, which is great. The idea here is you, as a bunny, are trying to collect decorations. You got to decorate your house and be the first one to decorate the house for the big party in town. And you do that by collecting decorations of either moons or stars. And you want to be the one to collect 5 of one of these and have the most decorations of anyone else. But in order to start the party, you must have 5 stars or 5 moons. And then you get to start the party. But the neat thing about it is you're not the only winner most of the time.
Yeah, there's a co-host of the party.
There is a co-host. And as you can see on the bottom of these cards, there are arrows. So this is going to point to a player on the table. So if you're the winner, the items that you have the most of are going to point to your co-host. And that person, either to your left or to your right, is going to win and be the co-host with you. So you both win. There are ways of being the only co-host.
I like that better, by the way.
Well, because, that's how you won. During the course of the game, you're also going to come across items, such as this card here. So when you receive a star decoration, either from another player or you draw it, you can then draw another card from the deck. And there are event cards. In this particular case, the event is take an item from another player, then that player takes an item from you, and it cannot be the same item. So you can actually, you can steal a decoration from someone.
You can, and it's a fun, sort of friendly take that component. It is a take that mechanic, but it doesn't feel, I guess maybe it's because it's bunnies. It doesn't feel as harsh as like when we're playing these other games where it's like, I've just stabbed you in the throat. No, these are bunnies. So they're coming over. They're like, hey, can I borrow your moon decoration? And you're like, yeah, sure, here. Yeah. And you feel okay with it. There's
some fun negative cards, like there's what's called bad reception. It shows the phone not working, so it actually costs you more to trade. We actually don't have the trade token. We forgot the trade tokens.
Oh, they're there, over on the table.
They're over there. But anyway, everybody gets a trade token, which allows you to trade cards with someone. It costs a trade token. There's several steps in this game. Let me quickly show you the turn order. It's not hard to remember what the turn order is, but each of these sections actually play out one after another around the table.
In turn order.
In turn order. So you start the game by each player, whoever has the first player token, draws 2 cards. I would draw 2 cards. Tico, you would draw 2 cards. And again, it's 3 to 4 bunnies. So the third player would then draw 2 cards, and we'll place this over here. My daughter actually played with us, so... and then that's one round. That is the beginning of the game, and we each get a trade token as well. Now we have to take, out of these cards, we must decide to get rid of one.
So the tidy face.
It's called the tidy face. So I must decide either to, one, I can either tidy it by putting it in the tidy pile. Yeah. So I have to get rid of a card. Or I can spend a trade token to give it to another player, and it then goes into their hand after this tidy phase. Yeah. And you would do that with like negative effect cards if you want to hamper someone, or if you want to help someone, you can give them a good item or a good event card. Right. So you can spend a trade again, spend a trade token to give a card to someone else.
To put it in somebody else's hand instead of your own.
So once everybody has, I'll just randomly get rid of one card. You want to get rid of one of your cards there?
I'm going to get rid of that one.
All right, and then these cards
Get
shuffled and thrown into the discard pile.
There's some cards that will allow you to play a card off the top of the deck. There's some cards that will allow you to play it off the top of the discard. So that's why they're shuffled and placed face up that way.
Then the next phase is to take the 6 villager cards. These are your visitors. You shuffle them up and you place 5 of them out, and the one stays out. So there's always one going to be missing. Yeah. And the players now go around and choose one of these villagers to come visit them.
Just popping by for a cup of coffee.
And each of these villagers have an ability. So if you chose Kyle to come visit you, when this villager visits you, you can draw a card. So it gives you another. So I'm going to choose Kyle.
Yep.
And now he's visiting me, which means I get to draw a card. So now I have an extra card I get to play. And who do you want to pick?
I'm going to go back with Abigail, because Abigail is who I want.
Abigail's a very powerful card, and Tico won with Abigail because
she's an endgame card. She gives you, she counts when she's visiting you as 1 star and 1 moon decoration, and she makes it so you do not have to share victory.
That's right. So he gets to win by himself, but she basically gives you extra decorations.
Now, the downside to that, if you have her in your hand when somebody else wins, you also don't share in that victory if they would have happened to be pointing to you as well.
Right, that's right. That's the 3rd round. And now we go around and we play cards. So each of us, starting with the first player, we're going to play cards in front of us. So I'm going to play a star decoration.
All right, and then I have an item in my hand. So once per turn, you receive when you receive a star decoration, either by playing it or from receiving it from another player,
draw a card.
Draw a card.
All right, and then it would go to the 3rd player, and they'd play a card, and they have an event. Discard one of your trade tokens. So they would discard the event, and they'd get rid of a trade token. Again, they're just little round tokens, which, and I apologize, they're not on the table here. That was my bad. And I have another card. It's an item. It's the outdated map. This is a negative card. It now costs me an additional token to trade with other players. So instead of 1 token, it's going to take 2 tokens for me to trade. And so that stays on my play area until I find a way of getting rid of it or giving it to someone else. There are cards that allow me to take an item in front of me and give it to someone else. So this is a negative effect card.
Well, and that's actually the next stage is the trade stage.
That's right.
So you can trade. So for example, say you really don't want that card. You're willing to, somebody's willing to take that off your hands for you or something like that. You could trade that for another bad card or something along those lines, but it would
cost me more to trade it.
It would cost you more to trade that.
The other idea is you can trade decorations. Say I'm trying to collect moons and you want the stars.
Yep.
We can do that, but you also want to be careful. I don't want to give you enough stars that you're going to win. Right. So there's a little bit of a take that. I found it very, very light in the take that mechanic.
It didn't really feel like you were screwing anybody over, even when you were stealing a villager from somebody's. Like, it didn't really feel as a negative impact because most of the villagers, you take advantage of their benefit when they arrive.
Right.
So Kyle, for example, is when this villager visits you, draw a card. So if I were to steal Kyle from you, you've already gotten the benefit of that extra card. Then I would also get the benefit of that extra card.
Right. Because there are cards that allow you to take a villager from someone as well. And gameplay basically plays just like that. It goes around. Once we've done that, we go into the trade phase, as we mentioned. If you gain more cards during the trade phase, you play them immediately, and then villagers go home. Yep. So all our villagers go back home. Sometimes when the villager leaves, you can draw a card. So when this one, for Sky, for example, when this villager leaves, draw a card. So you now have an extra card starting your next turn. You put all these back into the pile, give them a good shake. Shake? Shuffle. You don't shake.
You can shake them. I mean, it's not going to do much, but you give them a good shuffle, and then they get drawn back out.
And then they get drawn back out. And of course, one of them, it does not visit this turn.
On vacation.
And they've gone on vacation. So those are the 5 you have to choose from. And gameplay starts again. Yeah. So then the first player token moves around the table, draw cards around the table, Get rid of a card around, tidy up
Yep.
around again, each of these phases goes around the
Yep.
table until everyone has done it. Play your cards,
until somebody
trade your
has
cards, and
5 stars or 5 moons and can start the party.
Yeah, so these decorations you're trying to get, I want to try to get, say, 5-star decorations, but
I also need to have more stars than anyone
Right.
else.
So if you have 5, I have 5. You can't start the party yet because
Right.
we're tied. So you have to get the 6th one.
That's right.
In order to do that, each of the villagers also has a one-time use per game.
Yeah.
A one-time special ability. So when you're drawing out and you're picking your villagers that you're going to play as, you have a one-time.
That's right. So the
action.
one-time special ability once per game.
At the beginning of the turn, look at the top 4 cards of the deck. This will be very powerful. If I'm the first player,
Yep.
I can then put 2 cards on top that I want to get. Now, you'll also notice in this case, this is a Kickstarter preview, this character has no name.
Well, he has a name. It's name.
Then, yeah, but here's the wonderful thing about this is during the Kickstarter, they're going to give backers the ability to name these characters.
Yeah.
So in the final release, this character will have a name that a backer has given.
I thought that was a
That's
really
kind
great,
of a fun
thing
little
to have.
extra thing to be able to get to have that sort of personalized
Yes.
involvement in the game.
So that is Bunny Party at Maple Valley. Very quick, wonderful family travel game. And if you want to learn more about it, check out our interview with the creator right up there. We had a great time talking to him about that. Thanks everybody for joining us for this Flipping Tables. We'll be back with more throughout 2021. Bunny Party at Maple Valley. You must be a bunny to play.
Do a rabbit noise.
Is that good?
I don't know. I don't really know what rabbits sound like.
I think that's what they sound like.
They could.
They're also smelly.
I don't know. I don't have rabbits.